Hello, fellow explorers of the self and the universe around us. Welcome back to another episode of the iSquaredPodcast. If you are joining us for the first time, I am your host, Jimmy Lau, a yoga practitioner, motivational speaker, and a humble disciple of the philosophies of life. In our journey so far, we have dived into the philosophical depths of Buddhism, marinated in the interplay of interdependence and impermanence, and came out with new awareness and perspectives. Today's expedition takes us on an exciting, thought provoking venture, the intersection of Yin Yang, Taoism, and the potent influences of Buddhism. Our mission is to understand how two profound philosophies, seemingly distinct, have entwined over centuries to shape the Eastern world as we know it. The reason why I want to talk about Yin Yang is really because of the recent scientific development. Researchers from Canada have created a picture of two entangled photons, and that picture looks exactly like Yin and Yang. My mind was completely blown away when I saw the picture, and I knew immediately I needed to talk about it in the podcast. I will include some links in the description if you are interested to learn more about photon entanglement and what the researchers did. Well, speaking of yin and yang, when I began my journey in yoga and meditation, I remember learning the concept of balance using a Taoist approach, the yin and the yang. The idea was then sown like a seed of curiosity in my intellectual backyard. I began to notice yin yang at play in my daily life, in the push and pull of events, the rise and fall of emotions, and so on. It stoked the philosophical fires within me, nudging me towards the teachings of Taoism and Buddhism. And the more I understood, the more interconnected they seemed, coalescing around the ideas of interdependence and impermanence. I believe many of you empathize with this sense of wonder. Well, bear with me, friends. As we set off on this journey, be prepared to challenge your preconceived notions, to unravel the mysteries of the ancient Eastern world, and to find how these wisdoms can radically transform our modern lives. Thank you for tuning in to the iSquared podcast. Fasten your intellectual seatbelts as we are about to ignite the engine of curiosity. As we embark on our exploration today, let's first have a look at the symbol of Yin Yang. Now, I'd wager many of you have at least heard of Yin Yang. You have seen the symbol, the pictograph of two swirling halves, one white, one black, each carrying a spot on the other's color. A Taoist concept that's become sort of global shorthand for harmony and balance. Even the logo of this podcast is inspired by the Taoist symbol. But, my dear listeners, the understanding of yin yang throws open the doors to appreciating the multidimensional interdependence in our universe. In the simplest terms, yin and yang represent naturally occurring contrasting yet complementary forces. For instance, darkness and light, up and down, cold and heat, the inhale and the exhale. What if I told you each day of your life is but a dance of yin and yang? Take a moment, let that sink in. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Yin Yang isn't about black and white, rigid lines separating evil and good. No, my friends, that's a narrative cooked up by our love for binaries and certainty. You see, our mind is conditioned to look for duality in everything. When there is light, there is darkness. When there is up, there is down. But the truth is, light cannot exist without darkness. There cannot be up without down. Remember, in Yang there is a spot of Yin, and in Yin there is a dash of Yang. This suggests an intrinsic interdependence, a dynamic balance where one aspect penetrates into the other perpetually. This concept is known as interpenetration. Yin and Yang do not exist as a standalone unit, but as a harmonious entity. There cannot be Yin without Yang, and there cannot be Yang without Yin. When you experience pleasure, there is an inevitable pain in its absence, and vice versa. When you fail, there is wisdom or lessons resulting from that. Failure is the mother of success. Every end is but a new beginning in disguise. Every element of life is connected, embedded in this endless interplay of yin-yang. My friends, this is a radical shift from many dominant narratives of duality we are programmed to believe. Imagine applying this yin-yang perspective to our lives. Perhaps we would navigate life's events with more grace, more acceptance, and more peace. But more on that later. Let's hold these thoughts as we journey on our next checkpoint, Taoism, the philosophy where Yin Yang finds its roots. My dear listeners, as we continue our journey through the philosophical landscape today, we stop to contemplate a profound philosophy that took root in the fertile intellectual ground of China around the 6th century BCE, Taoism, the subject of countless interpretations, debates, and studies. Taoism is a river that cuts through the vast field of metaphysical thought, with its depth often just as enchanting as they are elusive. The captain steering this philosophical ship is the enigmatic Laozi, an ancient sage shrouded in layers of history and mystery. His magnum opus, the Tao Te Ching, often described as an enigma wrapped in a mystery, serves as a foundational bedrock upon which the edifice of Taoism stands. Those who know do not speak. Those who speak do not know. At its core, Taoism espouses the concept of the Tao, or the Way, an ostensibly abstract term that denotes the natural, underlying essence of existence, the grand cosmic ballet that choreographs the ceaseless ebbs and flows of all life and phenomena. It's akin to the secret melody to which the cosmos sways and swirls in an eternal dance. In an era where societal norms glorified constant action, control, and conquest, Taoism presents a radically divergent approach, encouraging us to attune ourselves to this cosmic rhythm, to flow like water in Laozi's timeless wisdom. The philosophy pulses with the heartbeat of simplicity, spontaneity, and cherishing the now, a poignant parallel to life's impermanent, ever-changing nature. Taoism serves up a delicious cocktail of counterintuition that might raise a questioning eyebrow or two. Here's a philosophy that celebrates the art of surrender over resistance, champions the concept of doing less to achieve more, and firmly roots itself in the terrain of yielding over striving. Such perspectives run contrary to the race of achievement, the chase of success our modern society has conditioned us to pursue relentlessly. However, between the lines of Taoism, we discern a deeper truth, one that charts new pathways to traversing the labyrinth of existence while encapsulating the essence of interdependence and impermanence we're exploring together. But let's dive deeper. The restorative path of Taoism immerses us in an embracing acceptance of life's mutable, impermanent nature. It is a crash course in resilience, in adaptability, in transformation, a tutorial taught by water, the element that exudes persistent gentleness and yet carves the toughest rock by forging a path around, above, and through it. Within the weave of Taoism's fabric, the Yin Yang principle paints a cosmos endlessly interconnected, a matrix of existence dancing to an eternal rhythm. An intriguing picture, isn't it? But how does this philosophical tapestry intertwine with the threads of Buddhist teachings? How is it the two thought systems, born miles and centuries apart, could find common ground, even achieve a somatic blend? Thank you for tuning in to the iSquared podcast. Securely buckle your thought seatbelts, my friends, for we are about to take flight in this philosophical and reaching nexus. We have reached the height of our discussion today, where two intellectual giants, Taoism and Buddhism, engage in a dance of ideas and philosophies. You might imagine them to be different species, perhaps even in conflict, given their diverse origins. Yet, in the rich melting pot of thought that was ancient China, they converged and transformed into a philosophy distinctly Eastern. How did this fascinating exchange occur, and what does this mean for us modern thinkers? When Buddhism flowed from its birthplace of India into China around the 1st century CE, it found the nation steeped in the antiquity of Taoist thought. What struck the first chord of synthesis between the two philosophies was perhaps the most universal aspect of all: language. To make sense of the profoundly metaphysical Buddhist texts from India, the Chinese thinkers interpreted them using Taoist ideas and wordings. This dynamic paved the way for a remarkable transformation, an evolution of Buddhism with a uniquely Chinese character, Zhen or Zen Buddhism, deeply rooted in Taoist principles. Intriguingly, this fusion also stirred Taoism, adding another layer to its interpretation. Is evocative of our principle of interdependence, two entities influencing and shaping each other in a ceaseless dance of thought, isn't it? Let's explore the intersection where these doctrines reverberate with shared wisdom. We call our discussion on the Tao, the natural order, and the universe's flow. Well, Buddhism speaks a similar tongue when it advocates the middle way. The path of moderation steers clear of self-indulgence and severe asceticism, creating a middle ground much like the balance of yin and yang in Taoism. In what might surprise many, both philosophies resonate with a common acceptance of life's impermanent, ever-changing nature. There is a deep harmony in their advocacy to flow like a wave in the ocean, riding life's highs with grace and weathering its lows with fortitude, much like the tree that sways with the wind rather than against it. But here's where a controversial perspective takes center stage. In our achievement-oriented, fast-paced modern society, we are often taught to resist, to fight against obstacles, to push through. Now, compare this to the Taoist Wu Wei, or effortless action, and the Buddhist right action from the Noble Eightfold Path. Both compellingly advocate a natural, unforced way of action, to flow, not to resist. Going against our societal programming, certainly, but a thought worth pondering upon, don't you think? One could argue that forcing these two distinct philosophies, Taoism and Buddhism, to coalesce and coexist detracts from their essence. But isn't it also a bold testimony to the adaptability and interconnectivity of human thoughts? A validation of how seemingly disparate ideas can converge to create a fresh stream of insight. Isn't this simply a testament to the symphony of interdependence that we are exploring in our shared journey on this podcast? It is fascinating, it is provocative, and it arouses a sense of wonder about just how interconnected our universe and we as sentient beings are. But, my dear listeners, let's probe even deeper, drawn by the enigmatic magnet of curiosity. How did this intriguing Taoist Buddhist fusion shape the world we know today? Stay tuned on the iSquared podcast as we continued our discussion in the next segment. As we explore deep into the wonders of Taoism and Buddhism, let us turn the pages back in time to witness the transformative imprints these twin philosophies have left on Eastern cultures over the last 2 millennia. Brace yourself for an exciting roller coaster ride through epochs of cultural transformation and intellectual growth. The unique bond between human civilization and its shared beliefs is uncannily akin to the yin and yang. Cultures both shape and are shaped by the principles they embrace. Consider then a society rooted in the philosophies of Taoism and Buddhism. It teems with the essence of balance, harmony, transformation, an echo of this timeless dance of yin and yang. In contrast to many societies worldwide where rigid structures often prevail, the Eastern cultures, under the pervasive influence of Taoism and Buddhist values, have cultivated an appreciation for the spectrums of existence. A manifestation of this lies in the elastic societal norms, the dearth of stringent moral absolutes, and the comfortable acceptance of life's shifting nature. Now, any civilization's relationship with nature rings out loud in the kind of habitat it constructs, be it monolithic skyscrapers or modest cottages nestled deep within nature's greenery. While striving for progress, Eastern societies under Taoist and Buddhist ethos incorporate nature, harmonizing with it rather than asserting dominance, a testament of accepting the ephemeral over the enduring, emphasizing interdependence over individual conquest. The influence seeps deeply into the realm of art as well. Picture an Eastern landscape ink painting with its subtle nuances, profound symbolism, and profound simplicity, a mirror reflecting the principles of harmony and balance intrinsic to Taoism and Buddhism. Moreover, the Eastern philosophy of coexistence, drawn from Taoist and Buddhist tenets, witnesses the awe-inspiring spectacle of nature slowly reclaiming historical structures, not as defeat but as a testament to the rhythm of existence. All things in flux, just as water runs its course and leaves fall in autumn, nature takes its course. Visualize with me the vast panorama of the Eastern world, enriched by centuries of Taoist Buddhist influences. A civilization humming with the intimate conversation between the individual and the cosmos, between the self and existence, A culture painted not by a brush dipped in the ink of conquest and defiance, but with strokes embodying the grace of balance, flow, acceptance, and transformation. Intriguing, isn't it? One can't help but wonder, how would our societies globally evolve if they embrace these Eastern traditions and their philosophies more fully? What transformative journey lies ahead if we internalize these teachings in an ever interconnected and transient world? My dear listeners, spend some time reflecting upon these questions, for our thoughts shape our actions shape our interconnected destiny. As we near the end of our exploration today, let's transition from the grand canvas of civilizations to the intricate tapestry of individual lives, yours, mine, and millions of others who form the human race. How do we distill these principles, these teachings of Taoism and Buddhism, into meaningful, simple practices that can shape our daily lives? Here is a practical guide that might lead you onto a path of inner balance and tranquility. Number one, embrace the Tao. Start by understanding that life is like the flow of a river, sometimes calm, sometimes tumultuous. Accepting this natural order, meet pleasures with enjoyment, meet challenges with courage. Remember, life is a dance of yin and yang. Harmony lies in acceptance. Number two, meditate. Both Taoism and Buddhism encourage meditation as a means of connecting with the inner self and the universe. Start with just 5 minutes a day. Allow your mind the space to be still, to observe without judgment. Practice Wu Wei, effortless action. In your actions, adopt a natural, unforced approach. Try aligning with life circumstances rather than exerting undue energy to go against them. In practical terms, this could mean opting for collaborative solutions instead of conflicts, or avoiding unnecessary hoarding of resources. Number four, mindful consumption. Be aware of your consumption patterns. The Buddhist idea of right livelihood attunes us to the effects of our economic activities on others and the world. Each purchase you make is a vote for the kind of world you wish to see. Number five, cultivate compassion. Practice understanding and empathy towards yourself and others. A mindful extension of this is metta, or loving kindness meditation, a beautiful technique to manifest compassion. To practice metta, you only need to visualize someone and wish them happiness and freedom from suffering. Number six, simplicity and minimalism. Taoism promotes a simple, contented life. Evaluate what brings you genuine happiness. Often, you'll find long-lasting joy in experiences, relationships, and passions rather than material possessions. Number seven, stay rooted in the present. Buddhism especially stresses living in the now. Be present in the moment, whether it is while eating, walking, or talking with a loved one. Practice mindfulness in your daily routines. Number eight, embrace impermanence. Accept the transitory nature of life. Impermanence is not just about the end of life, but also about change and evolution. Celebrate the journey of growth and transformation. Now, this may seem daunting initially, but remember, my dear listeners, the journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. As Laozi eloquently put, make small changes, take baby steps, celebrate small victories, and slowly but surely you will start to witness a transformation in your life, a tranquility in chaos, a dance in stillness. As we draw the curtains on today's enlightening expedition across the landscapes of Taoism and Buddhism, we find ourselves standing on a mountain top overlooking the expansive vistas of interdependence and impermanence. These twin principles, underscored by both philosophies, shed light on not just the interconnected world around us, but also the ever evolving panorama within. The truth is, my friends, we are all part of this grand cosmic dance, entities in constant flux, influencing and influenced, shaping and being shaped. And within this dance lies the rhythm of impermanence, the melody that transforms our existence into a magnificent symphony of experiences. As you walk along your life path, I invite you to reflect upon these principles. Observe them in the world around you, within your life situations, interactions, and decisions. You will discover the comforting levity of accepting life's flow and humbling realizations of our interconnectedness in the grand scheme of things. Remember, the journey is just as important as the destination, and every step enriches us with a new perspective. Until next time, keep exploring, keep growing. The world is nothing but a reflection of our inner wilderness. And never forget, we are all on this incredible journey all together. If you enjoyed our session today, consider leaving us a review on your podcast platform. It will help us reach more curious souls eager to embark on this profound journey. Go ahead, paint it with your thoughts, reflections, or key takeaways from this episode. Your perspective can spark a new train of thought for someone else. You know, stories bind us, and what's more exciting than sharing our special story? I would love for you to write your story, how these wisdoms of Taoism and Buddhism shaped your worldview. Tag our podcast, hashtag iSquaredPodcast on your social media posts. Let your friends in on the secrets of these ancient philosophies. And of course, we cherish your thoughts and questions. They fuel our discussions, shape our explorations. So don't hold back. Leave your comments about this episode on our website, or you can reach us directly on our social media platforms. Simply use hashtag iSquaredPodcast or hashtag Jimmy Lau Yoga. Thank you once again for spending your valuable time with us today, my dear listeners. Until we meet next time, let the spirit of the Tao guide your journey, illuminating your path. This is your host, Jimmy Lau, signing off. May your days be filled with happiness and wonders, and may you dance in the symphony of impermanence.